overview of the difference between theory of change and logical framework, by the end of which you would be able to distinguish between these two commonly mentioned frameworks. So before I go into this comparative overview, just for a split second, I would like you to see a theory of change example where there are different preconditions and there are your outcomes there, but it's all in the languaging of outcomes. And this is a log frame example. It's very linear. You're looking at activities, outputs, outcomes, impact, and goals. This is the terminology that is used in a log frame. So when we're looking at a comparison between the two, I think a theory of change gives you the landscape to consider the bigger picture and to look at the environment and context that you can't control. So looking at it in a much larger sort of frame than how it's done in a log frame, where you are talking about activities and then you're looking at the immediate outputs, the outcomes, and the goals. So it's in a theory of change, the diagram is very flexible, does not have a particular format. Every theory of change would look quite different, would have cyclical processes, whereas a log frame, all log frames of different kinds of organizations or programs would look very similar because it's linear, it's done through a specific format, a flow chart, and does not really have cyclical processes or feedback loops. A theory of change helps you to complete the sentence. If we do X, then Y will happen because. Whereas a log frame is we do X and Y, and which will give Y result. So again, to point out, it's quite linear, whereas a theory of change is cyclical, has a lot of feedback loops, and also gives you room to really explain why one box or why one outcome will lead to the other outcome. Whereas a logical framework, while you can create a narrative of change, it doesn't really give you the room to create evidence as to why one thing leads to the other or doesn't. Theory of change is usually kind of the basis of program design and evaluation, whereas log frames are usually, since they take the language of inputs, activities, outputs, it's used as a tool for monitoring and articulating these basics of your program monitoring actually. So let's take this example where the goal is, or the organization seeks to ensure that students complete secondary school. What the eventual goal is that they reduce child marriage because they're completing secondary school, they're having higher education attainment. The expectation is that it reduces child marriage and it improves employability. However, just to put this out there right now, this is called the line of accountability, wherein our program can work towards ensuring that all the elements that lead to students completing secondary school are within our control, wherein when it comes to employability and child marriage, there's a lot more that the program is not working towards. So if you look at this theory of change, we say that students complete secondary school is the result we are looking for. For that to happen, students should reach secondary school. For students to reach secondary school, they should have good learning outcomes. They should pass all the relevant grades. There should be community support. Parents should support students to enroll in higher education. Students should have improved life skills when it comes to confidence, it comes to self-belief, time management, all of that. Improved life skills for their aspirations to improve and for them to reach secondary school. And of course, they need to have some sort of work readiness, or them to, when the aspirations increase, they say that, okay, this is my career plan or my aspirations and these are the skills I need for it. Going below, and you see there's a lot of interconnectedness between outcomes, but When you're looking at improved learning outcomes, we are saying, it will happen if attendance increases, it will happen if teachers improve their teaching, community support, parents' perceptions need to improve. For improved life skills, students need, or work readiness, students need to actively participate in the program. For participation, they need to attend the program. Going the other way, improved effectiveness of teachers will happen if teachers apply new methodologies. Teachers would only be able to apply new methodologies if they learn new skills. They would be able to learn new skills if they attend the program. They would only be able to attend the program if there is buy-in from the schools. The schools will only adopt the program if there's buy-in from the local government. Improved perception in parents will happen if they attend community events and sessions, if SMCs are strengthened and SMCs have more meetings. Home visits are more effective when students don't attend school. So if you see, there are a bunch of pieces that the organization identified to ensure that their result of students completing secondary school are achieved. Now, if you look at the log frame example with the same case, what we've done is we've looked at all the inputs, that we've developed curriculum, we've trained the field teams, we've identified community coordinators, we've developed social and behavioral change material, which has led to us having life skill sessions with kids, teacher training, principal orientation, community awareness events. We then are looking clearly at saying that if we've done life skill sessions, we can then measure participation of students, and teachers' use of methods, and parents' participation in the program. Because of these, we are looking at only 3 outcomes where we are saying that there's increased regularity, there's improvement in teaching effectiveness, and of course in community spaces and learning in community, enablers learning in communities, which has then led to transition to secondary school learning outcomes and our eventual goals of completion. But again, if you look at this, it's extremely linear and it's only accounting for the things that we can consider and not at the larger not at the larger environment that we're operating in. So just to reiterate, I think while even starting with a logical framework helps, because it helps you to put in place or rather helps you to articulate your program inputs, activities, outputs, outcomes, and measure it and monitor it regularly. A theory of change will help you to get to depict a much more comprehensive sort of strategy in terms of recognizing all the different elements that play a role in achieving the results that your organization has set out for. In the next video, we will be using a case study to explain steps to build a theory of change, and we'll then have you try and attempt something for your program or organization.